Hey, friends, welcome to the Call to Farms podcast. I'm your host, Tim, the homesteading agent, joined by my lovely wife, Sophie.
Hey friends, this is Sophie with Sprinkle of Soil and the Homesteading Lender.
We have a very special episode for you. We are just going to be talking about off market properties. Now, what does that mean? Properties that are on the market are on the MLS, which means that if you are searching for properties on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, all of these search engine sites, oftentimes the best land is not even listed on the MLS. And I often get sellers that reach out to me specifically because I have buyers all the time looking for properties to homestead on. And these sellers who have worked for decades in improving their property, they want to make sure that it goes to good hands.
There's something special about the South because when we knew that we were wanting to find land, we knew we had to have a temporary landing spot here because the locals here, and maybe it's not just specific to the South, but many of the locals here in our area and much of whom we work with who love the people, love their community, they actually don't want to list on the MLS, which is a multiple listing service. A lot of our sellers and a lot of the sellers around us have been here for generations
Mhm.
rather. And because of that, they really want to make sure that they bring in the right people for that particular land because their family is still somewhat around the parcels left and right and north and south and east and west of the property that they're looking to sell. And so we knew when we moved out here, if we were going to find our land, we were going to have to set down our roots, get to know the people, get to know these potential sellers. They would want to know you before they sell to you. And that actually happened to be the case for the current home that we're in now.
That's right.
We had to be here for nearly 3 years before the sellers said, "Hey, we want to sell our land." And a lot of times, sellers do not want to list on the multiple listing service because they want to make sure that they are vetting the people who are potentially going to be moving in. So they reach out to Tim
Mhm.
because they follow us, they're part of our community, and they know what we value as our family
That's right.
and the types of clients that we attract. And so today we have quite a few listings to share.
We
It,
do.
it has been a collection over the last couple of weeks that sellers have reached out to us to sell their homes and their lands. And so I'll let Tim share about all of the uniqueness of every single property, but we thought that it'd be great to wrap it up for the end of 2025 as you think about what you want to do to get your new homestead or your next homestead in 2026.
And before I jump into that, if you've been an avid Call to Farms listener, thank you so much for tuning in. And we gave this example a few episodes back when we purchased two more Jersey cows. Now, I would share the story really quick because this is a heartbreaking story. And this is something where what Sophie was just talking about, people want their properties to go to good hands where they're going to continue on with what they were intending on doing with the property. So we purchased these two Jersey cows, and this was in Southwest Virginia, and the people had to sell their farm. And unfortunately, it had to go to auction. And the person who purchased this, was it 100 acres or
It
so?
was over 100 acres.
Over 100 acres, and they had all Jersey cows there, and they had beautiful fencing. They went to one individual, and he's gonna mow the whole thing down just so that he can land his helicopter, and that is a true yet heartbreaking story. And so tonight, we're gonna be talking about off-market listings because so many people have been asking me, "Tim, do you have access to properties that don't hit the market?" I definitely do. And if you're not on this list, be sure to click on the link below and subscribe.
Yes. And I'll just pause to say again, thank you so much for being a listener here on our Call to Farms podcast. Over the last several years, we have really grown our channel. And thank you for all of your support because it has helped us maintain this channel. And going into 2026, we are going to be staying consistent with you. We've made upgrades to our video and to our audio, which is something that we're very excited about. It encourages us to get in here. And as we think about continuing to stay consistent, we would love to ask you to please hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening to us, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify, Apple, or any other podcast platform that you're currently listening to us here. Please just be sure to like, subscribe, and share out to your friends and family, because we wish we had access to this information when we were looking. And we still wish we had access to this information
Yeah.
today, but we are spending our times, most oftentimes it's 11 o'clock at night, and we're here to show up and to show you
Yeah.
that this is what's going on with what we're seeing in our world, and we
Mhm.
want to continue to show up for you.
And if you hit that subscribe button, that is so encouraging and motivating for us. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's kick it off. We're going to start off with plug and play listings. So if you're just thinking about homesteading and you're just like, I'm unsure, how am I going to transition from city life to country? Look no further. We've got these two listings coming up that is off market, that is going to speak to you.
And not only that, but we have a lot of buyers who are currently homesteading where they're at and realizing that they need to move to another area and don't want to start from scratch. Hello, that was us from California. We had 6 acres,
Mhm.
had all this cross fencing, we had our ruminants, our chickens, our ducks, and everything, except we didn't have our ducks in a row because we actually had to go move and start from scratch. And so, what a huge asset it is to be able to not have to start from scratch with these plug and play homesteads.
That's right. And the very first one is located in Rogersville, Tennessee. That's in Northeast Tennessee in Hawkins County. It's a constitutional county, and it's located on 108 Richards Road. And the thing that I want to highlight is that it is a VA assumable loan at a stellar rate, 3.375. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be till we see those kinds of rates again.
Last time we saw them was in early 2022. So we're going into 4 years now. And I don't even think we're going to see rates in the five. I think we're going to stay in the sixes and the 6.5 for 2026 for the unforeseeable future. So this is even half of that rate, and you're not going to be able to beat it. So a VA assumable loan means that there was a veteran in this home that had a VA loan on this home. And to your benefit, you do not need to be a veteran yourself to be able to get this home as an assumable loan. So that means that you are able to capture the rate that this house is in with a VA. So even if you didn't qualify for a VA, that's a benefit, is that you now do, and just bring in the difference for the down payment. But if you don't have that, even I have access to lenders who will be able to step in and get you financing on the other down payment aspect to make sure you cover that, as well as you being able to qualify for the VA assumable loan. So this is an incredible asset to have. I know that there are whisperings of Trump talking about how you're going to be able to move your mortgage rate with you wherever you buy. Until that happens, even then, this veteran's going to be taking their rates elsewhere. So if you're looking to purchase in 2026, finding an assumable loan is very difficult to have because a lot of people will just sell or they'll hang on to their home. That's the reason why you see a lot of sellers just not selling or moving and making a move, because they're in rates at 4% and below. And that's 75% of Americans today are in mortgage rates at 4% and below.
Yeah, and quick disclosure, you do not have to be obligated to go with us to finance any of these properties or any of these off-market listings, okay? I wanna make that clear, but if you've been tuning in, you know how we do business with full integrity, and we would give you the best or most competitive rates as well as top service. But this particular property that is a VA assumable loan, it is situated on 5 acres on fairly flat, and we call it Tennessee flat because no property on East Tennessee is absolutely flat, but it is fairly flat. Single story home. It's a 2012 Clayton home with 3 bed, 2 bath, a little over 1,600 square feet. And the 5 acres have two separate fenced off paddocks with high tensile electric fencing. All you need to do is bring your energizer, and there are multiple sheds with power located on this particular property, including one that was made into a root cellar, which had a window AC in it, fully insulated shed with a ramp and power so that you can bring your harvest or whatever you would like to store your food in. So that's absolutely desirable property. Inside the home includes a wood stove along with a dechlorinator, water softener, front loading washer and dryer. There are just so many upgrades to list about this property. And the backyard is probably one of the main highlights of this property because it's absolutely just all organic, multiple fruits, and medicinal herbs as well.
I would say it's more of a food forest where you could walk around the backyard and pick either your fruit or your vegetable to harvest and bring into the home to cook your next meal.
This property sits on 5 acres and is practically a rectangle shaped parcel. And most of it is pasture and it's lined with woods. There really is only one neighbor directly next door to this property. And I know this property and the neighbors, they're just a sweet family. And surrounding areas primarily hunting grounds. So you have a lot of elbow room, so to speak. And when you drive into the driveway, you don't see the house. And that's key for homestead security. You actually see the carport. So there is plenty of setback distance and make this property your own. There's plenty of pasture. Bring your animals, bring your livestock, and make this your own.
And even if you don't want to bring your animals, this is prime hunting land because we have seen 8 deer at some point just walk up to the front yard. So
Mhm.
this is incredible piece of property. Reach out to us if you're interested for more information.
Yeah, absolutely. And the second property that is a plug and play property sits on 60 acres and it's right on the border of Rogersville and Greenville. There are two home sites located on it. One is an older one that has power, and the other one is the home that there are currently people living in, which has a wood burning fireplace. But what I want to highlight is the active spring head. There's plenty of fresh water coming from it and the property itself has a moat. There's a creek that runs around the front of the property. So it's absolutely breathtaking. There are also a lot of upgrades to mention on this property outdoors. In particular, there's a sawmill. There are plenty of chicken coops and rabbit hutches, a beautiful organic garden, and multiple RV spots as well.
Yes. And the spring water actually goes from the spring head on top of the mountain and is gravity fed down to the organic garden, which is just phenomenal. And it goes into the greenhouse. We've personally been there, and this is the perfect bug out off grid property that you could find.
Yeah, it's the ideal property if you want to set up that family compound. That's something a lot of my clients have been reaching out to me on.
Yes. And the owner is also giving an option to purchase 10 acres that he would sub parcel out on his property. So it is a very nice piece of land.
Yeah, and there is also seller financing available for this property.
Yes.
Very unique one. It's very interesting, but if you're looking to homestead, this is the property for you. This next property that I want to talk about is located in Rogersville, and it is a very special property. It's an event space. In fact, it includes a restaurant and also has, well, historic building sites to make your own and a beautiful, breathtaking waterfall and park like setting. There's even a garden and over almost 100 acres on this property. It's a well known property, so I can't say exactly the address or give you any more details. Otherwise, if you're around this area, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is a gorgeous event space property. So if you're looking for a restaurant or looking to have a wedding venue, this is something you may want to consider.
And this is also where our local farmers market gathers on the weekends. and it's right by the riverfront, and it's just so beautiful. The property itself sits on a hill, and I believe it is a historic
Yeah, it's a
location.
historic site. So it's already a well-known location in town, and it is a community gathering place. Everything's already built in already.
Yep.
Okay. This next property that I want to talk about, this one is the one listed property that is my listing, and it's located at 694 Heck Branch Road, and that's located in Rogersville, but it's right on the border of Rogersville and Mooresburg, but it's still in Hawkins County. It's listed at $110,000, a three-bed, two-bath, 1996 Clayton single wide mobile home, and it sits on 12 acres. So if you're looking for property where you want to have land to call your own and have privacy and have woods to hunt in, this is the property for you. And the last few properties that we want to talk about, it's raw land. I have clients that often say they want to just purchase the land first and then build on it later. Or we have clients who want to just build their own home because they know exactly what they want. And so if they can find the right land to homestead on and build the right property, that would be a dream come true.
Yes. And we also have lending options for you to be able to do that, specifically where you can buy the land only. That
Mhm.
is a 35% down payment. And then you can try to find your construction, but construction loans are very costly. And then we have access to what we call the one time close loan, the OTC loan. And we will probably have to put in a separate webinar for the one time close because over the last several weeks, we have had several clients reach out to us, which is so great because this is the loan that will allow you to buy your land and roll in the cost of construction for just 5% minimum down payment. So the fact of the matter is, a lot of times it's hard to find the dream home on a large piece of land, right? They are not building like this anymore. In fact, what we're doing with our land is we're parceling them off into smaller parcels so that the next generation can afford them. But if you happen to find a beautiful piece of land and you want to build your beautiful home, the one time close loan is the way that will get you there for very little money down. And if you are a veteran, which we have worked with many veterans who appreciate the things that we do, wanting to live off grid, wanting to be away from a lot of people, being self sufficient and being within community, the beautiful thing about the one-time close loan is if you're a veteran, you can purchase your land and the cost of construction for 0% down. And we also have options for a jumbo VA 0% down one-time close loan. So there really is no excuse if you're wanting to buy a beautiful piece of land and put your home on there. One of the stipulations with the one-time close loan is making sure that you're going with a licensed contractor and a builder. So you're not able to build your own home with yourself or your family and your friends. And the other option is that you are able to plop down a Clayton home, for example, or a manufactured home. So if you're wanting to buy land and get on your land as quickly as possible, that would be the way to go. Go select a Clayton home and purchase it, roll it into the cost of your loan, and put it into your land. The benefit of the one time close loan is that you can also choose to roll in the cost of getting your septic, your water, your electricity, your well water as well. All of that rolled in. So there's really not much that you would
Mhm.
need to do. It's the same process as you wanting to buy a home with a conventional loan.
Yeah, you will still be able to close in the same amount of time. You just have to wait for your home to be built out. And you mentioned Clayton Homes, but we also work with very reputable builders. You're not obligated to use them, but we vetted builders who operate with full integrity, meaning they don't leave you hanging. And if you purchase land, you're going to wonder, where do I go, Tim, to get a good builder? I don't want someone, how do I know they're going to be good and just not take my money and then not finish my project because they've taken on other projects at the same time. And that may often be the case in Tennessee. We've heard so many horror stories of contractors committing to do the work, yet then starting the work 6 to 8 months down the line, or starting the work and then pausing and not getting back to it. We vetted some builders and we don't make anything out of it. Whether you go with Clayton, go with a builder, we just want to make sure you're happy and that you get your homes built out. Ask us more questions about it. Sophie mentioned we're going to have a webinar on this one time close and go into more detail and be able to answer more questions.
And in 2026, we will be scheduling time with one of these builders, if
Mhm.
not many more, where we will bring them on to our podcast
That's right.
and who will talk through the type of quality, because I've already interviewed them. I interview them as if it was my own purchase and my own build myself, but I've really enjoyed my conversations with them. And we are going to go out to tour the many different types of homes that they built, several in Middle Tennessee and in East Tennessee as well. So we will be having a YouTube video to feature them. And if you're also a builder out there, please contact us and let us know so we can go ahead and get you approved
Yeah,
as a licensed contractor so that we can partner with you. But
absolutely.
that is what we wish, that we had access to this information,
Yeah.
but because we're walking in step with our clients and we're learning along the way and we're asking the questions, we want to make it widely available to everybody else who's not local to the area but wants to move and consider the
Yep.
things that we're asking, the really hard questions to vendors that maybe you might not have thought about asking.
Sophie's a researcher. She definitely asks those hard hitting questions she was just talking about. You should be a reporter, some of those questions. But all that to say is that we do our homework. Sophie does that research, and we make sure that who we recommend is someone we would personally use ourselves. So, talking about beautiful parcels of land, let's get right into it. I'm especially excited about this 58-acre parcel located in Churchill, Tennessee. It is subdivided already into 8 separate parcels. And I'm going to put this up here so you can see the different 8 parcels here. There is power and electricity that is located at the road. It was old farmland. So most of this property, I would say 95% of it is all pasture land, which is really hard to find. And there are woods along the side. So parcels one is a little over 10 acres with woods. It also has a command view, sits on top of the hill. You get 360-degree views, breathtaking. Parcel two is a little over eight, almost 8.5 acres with some woods as well. Parcel number three is almost 10 acres, a lot of privacy where that one is located. Parcel number four is at almost 7.5 acres, but it has a really nice large pond, great for your livestock. Parcel number five is close to 7 acres. And then six, seven, and eight are each about 5 acre parcels. Be sure to check these out. The deadline to get all 8 under contract is on April 30th. So be sure to reach out to me. This property is definitely not going to last. You can see that there are a couple entrance ways onto the property. I've walked it myself. This is property that I would buy myself. All right. This next property that I want to talk about is 22 acres. It's coming on the market soon. It's not yet. It's 22 acres located in Surgoinsville, located on Longs Bend Road. It is on the border of Rogersville and Surgoinsville. There is a spring located on this property, along with an old home site with power and water at the road. It's not yet surveyed, and the owner is working on getting that driveway put in from the road to that home site. 22 acres. Now, this is a good amount of land. The 23 acres that I had featured on my Instagram, that went viral. And so many people, I think I had over 2 or 3,000 comments on wanting to learn more about the 23-acre property. So if you missed out on that one, don't miss out on this 22-acre one. And finally, I have another 58-acre parcel, and it's located in Southwest Virginia, specifically Reiner, Virginia, which is close to Christiansburg, Virginia, near Virginia Tech. There is an old barn located on it. It's about, I would say, 70% pasture to 30% woods. So you have that really nice mixture. So you can get some shade for your livestock. And also, the woods is currently being used for hunting. So there's plenty of game out there. Build a dream home, if not two, on that property. There are a couple of hill sites that have command views. There's even a large pond as well as a stream or a creek that runs through this property. It's absolutely breathtaking. It's been in this particular family for a few generations already, and there's plenty of road frontage. So you can just build that beautiful farmhouse or that dream house that you've always wanted. Be sure to reach out to me on this one. Whew. Those are all the properties so far as we wrap up 2025 and go into 2026. These are properties that you don't want to miss out on. This was probably a few podcast episodes back, but there's 600 acres that is in South Dakota. I'll have to check back on that town again. It's pretty much like in the middle of South Dakota, but it's an elderly couple that need to sell, and they sold 300 acres already at an auction, and a conventional ag farmer purchased it. And it broke their hearts because they've been farming organically this whole time. They were even certified organic for a few years. And they had cross sectional fencing, the ball waters, the whole works. And they wanted to make sure, just like what you mentioned from the very beginning of this episode, that this 600 acres would go to a good farmer or family that would take care and steward this land properly. So, if you're interested on this property and you want to homestead in South Dakota, be sure to reach out to me on that for more information.
Absolutely. We just thank you so much. If you are a seller also looking and listing your home right now, and you realize that you might not be getting all the eyeballs that you need, please reach out to us. We do have a large network of people who are following us from all over the world
Yeah.
at this point who are looking for homesteads and land
Yeah.
and homes.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I know all the properties that I talked about, aside from the South Dakota one, were primarily in Northeast Tennessee as well as Southwest Virginia. But I also have sellers who reach out to me who talk about their homesteads and trying to get it on the market and wanting to get more attention, more eyeballs onto their beautiful homestead property. So if you are selling, as Sophie had mentioned, be sure to reach out to me because I have buyers all the time asking, inquiring about the states that they live in because they want a homestead there.
And we have just expanded. We had said that 2026 we were going to expand to all 50 states. We didn't wait too long. We
Mm.
have officially expanded to all 50 states, whether you're looking to find or fund your next home. So please reach out to us. Make sure that you hit subscribe on this channel that you're listening to us on, and be sure to be a part of our newsletter to stay up to date with all of the news that we will be so excited to announce in 2026.
So, in addition to what Sophie just mentioned, as a homesteading agent, I'm going to expand on my consulting services and provide that for you no matter where you choose to homestead in. So, if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me. I'll be able to help you ask the questions you may not have thought of because I homestead myself and I work with so many homesteaders already that I understand the challenges, the obstacles, the questions to even ask the realtors or even the government officials in those counties that you may not have even thought of. I will be here to walk in step with you to make sure that you're not doing it alone. When we moved from California to Tennessee, we wish we had someone that we could lean on. We leaned on Joel, but he taught us how to butcher rabbits and chickens. But in terms of looking for the right homestead in the area that we wanted to relocate in, and even having the questions of moving our family or how do we divide up the work and how do we make it work for our family, answering these questions, we had to learn and go through it ourselves. But now we're helping our clients do the exact same thing but having them ramp up quickly and not make the mistakes that we made because we are right there with you. We understand what it takes. And if you're listening right now, you're already taking that first step on your journey. Be sure to reach out to us and we would be honored to work with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, stay healthy.